Hello and welcome. My name is Petra and I'm here today with my lovely daughter Natasha, and together we're Knit Inc. And this is lucky episode 13 of our YouTube channel where we talk about all things knitting.
And a little bit of lettering in between.
That's right.
So I will talk about some lettering. So if you'd like to give us a follow on Instagram, we are at knit_inc. Today is April 17th. It's been a little while since our last recording, but we're excited to get back into it. It is a lovely, it's actually not too nice out. It's a little overcast, but it's still a little chilly here in the Northeast, but it is local yarn store Saturday. So we are going to go to our local yarn store, Driftwood Yarns, later today, and we'll do a recap of that trip later on a later episode. But I do want to give a special warm welcome to our new viewers here. Thank you for subscribing and joining us. We are thankful that you checked out our last episode about our Norwegian cruise and got to know us a little bit. This will be a little bit more of a normal episode, but we are also very happy to welcome our OG viewers too. We're also really glad you're here, and we've been reading all of your wonderful comments. We haven't responded to every single one yet, but we will. And just know that we are reading all of them and so appreciate them. So I think you wanted to say a little something too, right?
Yes, I just want to do a big shout out. Thank you, Arne and Carlos, for your beautiful shout at your last episode and sending people our way to hear about our wonderful cruise that we did up the coast of Norway in 2019. And I also really love reading the comments, and I especially love reading about where people are coming from. I love hearing people from all over the world. And what was interesting is that the top question that people asked is, how did we get all that yarn back?
Well, we planned for it. We packed an extra duffel bag. Because we knew we were going to be coming home with souvenirs. So I think we mentioned that we checked one bag and then we had 2 carry-ons. So on the way back, we checked 2 bags and each had a carry-on. So we had an extra bag. Before we get into everything, I think there's a picture of me carrying you were calling me the yarn Sherpa.
Yeah, you were the yarn Sherpa, yes. Maybe we can insert that picture. And actually, I have to give you credit, Natasha. You had the foresight to pack that empty duffel bag.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't envision that we would have quite that much yarn. So we stuffed that duffel bag, and then every little nook and cranny in our other bags was stuffed with yarn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a lot. And I remember, so we flew into Logan in Boston, and then you were taking the train down to Connecticut. So we went from the airport to Back Bay Station, which is just like a 10-minute walk from my apartment. So my husband, John, met us at the train station, and my mom was catching a train, but I was going back home, and we had all this yarn to sort between the two of us. Of course, we were like, I need my yarn. You can't go home with all of it. So we're in Back Bay train station, like opening our suitcases and dividing up all this yarn. I don't think that we have a photo of it, but I remember John just being like, oh my God.
Well, he thought that we were nuts, and I wanted to make sure that Natasha didn't take any of the yarn that I bought.
Yeah, of course, we'd probably see each other in like 2 weeks and could do a handoff, and like, just in case you needed that skein, you know? So,
yarn fumes. It definitely was so much fun.
Fumes, yeah.
So, thanks, Arne and Carlos. I love watching your episodes, the sit and knit for a bit, are just so interesting. And the rescuing the old whips, I love that. We have some old whips that have come our way that we'll talk about in our next episode. Yeah. So today we're going to
Hold on, one more thing. I just want to say,
okay.
I too enjoy watching the sit and knits. I love the little glimpses into their life, about what they're doing and working on. So if you didn't come here from Arne and Carlos's recommendation, I do recommend that you go check out their channel and subscribe. They're super talented. Not only are they fun and interesting, they just have, a wide breadth of knowledge about knitting and traditional Norwegian knitting and fashion design, and just creativity and an eye for detail, not only in knitting, but, with home decor, gardening,
lifestyle.
Yeah.
Very inspirational.
Totally. So check them out.
Yep.
Okay. So I guess that's kind of the hello, welcome. Why we're glad
Oh,
you're
and
here.
we're gonna. One more thing I want to say. So we were going to have a giveaway. We were thinking we'd get to about 500 subscribers in a month or so, and all of a sudden we're in the K's. I'm so excited that we're in the K's, and we're over 1,000 subscribers. So we're going to have a giveaway, and Natasha will show you what we're going to give away later on in the episode.
Yeah, so I'll show you we have a couple things that we're going to give away, and I'll talk about how to enter for that giveaway and
That's
all those
exciting.
details. So we're really happy you're here. So yeah, we're going to do 1,000 subscriber giveaway, and I'll chat about those details later. So I guess let's get into it. So Mom, what are you wearing?
I am wearing my latest FO, which is the Winterly sweater by Suviknits, and it's in this bright purple colorway, which the name of the colorway is escaping me for
But
some
it was
reason.
Baaramewe yarn.
Titus. Baaramewe is the company, and it's Titus, and it's a blend of 3 different wools. I've already washed. Well, I did. I washed it when I blocked it. It's nice and light and warm. I talked about it in quite a lot of detail in episode 11, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to take a look. But it's my second Suviknits sweater. I might just stand up to show you. It's kind of
the
cool
nice
that
lace
it's
detail.
asymmetrical panel of
Yeah.
lace, and then the only modification I did is I changed the number of rows between the garter ridge. In her pattern, it's 4 rows, and I just lengthened mine.
Did you
But-
see that from someone? From inspiration?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I stole that from someone
nice.
on Ravelry. Yes.
Yeah, that's a nice touch. I like that.
So this is my FO, and yeah, it's in my favorite color, purple. How about you, Natasha? Is this a new FO for you too?
Yeah, so even though it's April 17th,
Yes, we're still wearing our woolies.
New England weather, it can be 72 degrees one day and 32 degrees the next. And actually we had snow in Boston yesterday, so we're actually filming in Stonington, Connecticut, where my mom lives. But
We had snow here
You had snow.
yesterday too.
Yeah.
Sleet was just pouring down.
it
Yeah.
was miserable. I'll insert a photo because when I went outside, the poor tulips were covered in snow.
Oh.
And I hope they survive. So yeah, there is still opportunity to wear our wool in
And probably
April.
for another month.
Yeah. So this is my caramel sweater. This is by Petite Knits. I'll just hold up my little sign here. Yep. So it's I'm having trouble holding it straight.
Caramel sweater.
There we go. Okay. So this is by Petite Knits. The pink yarn. So it's mostly held double pink yarn that I got from the Third Piece, which was a local yarn shop to me in Boston. They were on Tremont Street, like less than a 10-minute walk from me, but they have now moved to Newton, which is just a little bit outside Boston. So the pink yarn, I think it was, maybe I'll insert it below because I forget. It was like Sophia yarn, I think.
Yeah, the name
Let me
doesn't
see.
roll off my tongue.
I can quickly tell you. Gedifra, Gedrifa Soffio, Soffio.
It might be good if you insert.
I'll insert it. I don't have it
Okay,
lettered,
link.
but I can put the type of yarn it is. So it was nice and fluffy. So it's alpaca wool and silk. It kind of has like a mohair halo. And then I held it double with Holst Noble
that's
yarn.
right, Holst.
So it's not the Holst Supersoft, which is super popular, but it's the Noble base, which has a little bit of cashmere.
5% cashmere.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I ran out of the pink, and I knew I was going to, so I planned for it to match for the cuffs and the hem
That's
on the rib.
really good yarn management, Natasha.
Yeah, so the way
to
I
use everything.
Yeah, and I had the tips from you about it. So what I did is, so I had 4 balls of the Gedrifa Soffio yarn. This is actually knit top down, starting with the turtleneck, and so you don't actually pick up the stitches later. So I started from the top down, and I was kind of keeping track of how much yarn I was going through. So I put a little stitch marker when I added a new ball of the pink. So I knew the body length can vary, but I knew I wanted to have what my sleeve length was, that's something that I didn't want to end up with sleeves like this.
Yeah.
So what I did is, after I had done used 2 balls. I worked through my sleeves, and I knit both my sleeves while the body was probably only to here. And then when I felt like, okay, these are going to be long enough, I had plenty of the gray mohair that I was going to substitute to hold the gray mohair with the gray Holst. So I just knit my sleeves and was like, okay, they're the same length. This is good. Then I knew I was going to have like a little bit of an extra long cuff, but just went through, got my sleeves the length, and was happy. Like, I tried it on, I was like, okay, I can do a long ribbing. Then I just used the rest of the pink I had to keep going on the body. And then I picked up for the gray, knit my cuffs and for both my sleeves. And then after the sleeves were done, I wanted to do a similar length for the body. So after my sleeve cuffs were done, then I did the ribbing of the body so that I could kind of match how long that was going to be. And this is our little knit ink tag that I put on some of my, or most of my finished objects. We got these on Etsy a couple of years ago. I don't think that sometimes the Etsy shops, I think we've ordered a couple leather tags, and sometimes they stop taking new orders. So if she's still taking orders, I'll add this, but I'm running low, and I might check out to see if Katrinkles does custom tags. She is a laser engraver and cutter. She has a business. Her name's Katie, but the business is called Katrinkles, and she's based out of Providence. So halfway between Stonington and Boston. It's local to us, and she's super successful, and I think she has her work all over the world, actually. But it would be kind of fun to support her and get some local tags. So this is my caramel sweater. Oh, one thing I wanted to say too. I was really conscious of making sure that the fold over was going to be, and I'm playing with it now, but was going to cover the, how do I say it? I didn't want the, I didn't want this situation. So I wanted to make sure it was long enough, and I didn't want this to kind of pull out and have some of the ribbing of the neck show. So I have like an extra, now that I've like floofed around, but I wanted like an extra roomy, comfy turtleneck. So I am very happy with how this came out. And we actually wore both of these sweaters on a walk for my sister's birthday back in March. We did the Newport Cliff Walk in Newport, Rhode Island. It's a nice, I don't know, is it like 2 miles or something?
More than that. If you do the whole walk, it's about 4 miles. Yeah, it's a beautiful walk.
And we took a couple finished object photos on that walk, so I will insert a few of those as well. It was a nice time to celebrate Anna's birthday.
And that was a beautiful, bright, sunny day.
It was.
Like today.
So that's what we're wearing. I think that about covers that.
Well done about your successful yarn management. I'm all about.
I hope I explained that okay.
Using everything up, and even though I have some more FOs. Do you have another FO?
I have John's sweater, but it's not with me.
Okay, because following on the theme of yarn management, I want to talk about the sweater I am making for Anna, which is sort of a similar situation where I've run out of yarn. So this is the name of this is, I'm butchering it, Snedronnigen.
Oh, I don't think I have a sign for that.
You did, but we will. What we will do is we put links to our Ravelry pages for all the projects that we talk about, so that if you want any details or we mispronounce something, then the link should take you there.
It'll be noted that it is Ravelry, because I know that some people, it's not accessible for them. So right now we don't have our projects listed anywhere else, but we do take care to put a lot of information about our projects in the YouTube show notes, so you can get information there, and then we will let you know if it's a Ravelry link. So if you are able, or you can access it, but we'll put the name of the pattern, the designer, and the yarn that we use. So hopefully we'll do our best. We'll do our best, and if it's not there,
and that's my job. So
if it's not there, message us, and we'll get back to you.
Yeah, definitely. That's my job. So hopefully I'll do a good job. So I've talked about this sweater also probably a couple of episodes. I've been working on it for a while, and I've incorporated some hand spun from my lovely friend Gwen into, and this is a Isabel Kraemer pattern, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah. And I'm using this cone. Actually, it's the same as for hanging up the slip stravaganza. Same yarn.
Wow, you're working through it.
This cone has been going on. I knit a whole other sweater out of this cone, as well as the shawl, as well as this sweater for Anna. So I was holding mohair here together. When I ran out of the mohair, I had 3 balls of mohair, and the mohair I was using is Ella Rae that I got from our local yarn store in the color Clematis. It's Super Kid mohair and silk. So I had finished the bottom. It's got a garterage hem bound off, and I had knitted. I was suspecting that I would run out, so I had knitted one sleeve to the point where I would do the cuff, and then I ran out on this sleeve before I got to the cuff. So I could have bought another ball, but then I would have just used a little bit and I'd have this ball left over. So what I decided to do was I am now unraveling the hem and knitting the sleeve until I get...
Wait, hold on. Pause for a second. So I love this. You're actually... There's no... You didn't... You're... It's basically the hem is... Oh, when we hold this up, it does funny color things, but that's okay. But let me just lift it up a little bit. I'm going to show there's no ball. You're actually knitting straight from unraveling. So that is great. It's kind of like the hem is your skein as you're knitting. So that's great. So
my plan is, and I'm going to need some input, is to knit until the sleeves are the same length.
Yeah. Oh, you're not too far.
Yeah. So I only have this much to go. And then I need to make a decision about how to do the cuffs in exactly the same fashion as Natasha showed in her sweater. How to do the cuffs. One thing I was thinking is I could just hold this double.
Yeah.
And that would use up this cone because I'm ready for this cone to be used up.
Yeah.
Or I've got quite a bit of the handspun left. I use the handspun for the hem. That was used in the colourwork here for a garter ridge. I'm just worried that it might be too much of a contrast, and the handspun does vary because the actual roving was gradient.
So
there's different colors. Yeah. So what do you think?
So I think you should hold this double and do a little bit of color work with the handspun, whether it be like kind of one of maybe from the top here, this smaller diamond
motif.
Here's my reasoning. I think holding this double will be good, but it would be nice to tie back into the sleeves. I think Jennifer Steingast does that quite a bit, where she brings in some of the motif from the yoke into the cuffs, and I think it looks really nice. But I think doing all garter in the handspun, I'm worried because it's a lighter color and just the wear and tear of your cuffs.
Oh yeah, especially for Anna.
Yeah, and it's handspun, so it might be a little bit more delicate. I don't think that...
and it's got silk. This handspun is actually it's a merino silk combination.
I just think that's a little delicate all on its own for the cuffs. But so I think you can do, but if you wanted to do garter, well, it depends on how much you have left. If you don't have room to do a motif, then just do garter in this held double. If you do have room for a motif, do the motif and then a couple rows of garter.
Yeah, I'll have to figure out how many rows. That's a good idea, this little motif. Or I could also just do a couple of rows.
You could do like a little, just single.
Or do the flea thing.
Yeah.
You know how you call the Norwegian, I think that's Norwegian too.
Yeah.
Where you do the little fleas.
Yeah, they just, one
little
stitch,
specks.
One stitch of the color.
Which is sort of how it begins. It's impossible to see, but there's one stitch of the color.
Well, it's like in between,
the first row.
In between the diamonds here too.
Oh yeah. You know what? I think that will be
that would be cute. Just a little touch of it. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm. This is going to be finished soon, just in time for spring. It's really warm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I will be thrilled to use up this cone.
Awesome. Here's the cone.
Thank you. So that's What other project do you want to talk about, Natasha?
So I finished John's sweater. Yay!
Oh yes, gosh, that was a labor of love.
Yeah. Oh shoot, I just wanted to do one thing. So I forgot to call out some extra time for us when you were talking about the winterly. I'm just going to insert the live lettering of that now, so you can take a look at the lettering of that. Because I do want to insert some of the ink stuff of this. So that was used with the Kuretake metallic pen. So this is a Japanese pen, and it has a pretty broad tip that you can see here. And when you see the lettering, you can see it's nice, juicy ink. So that's one of my favorite pens. And I will have a link below to the We're Into It website where we link the products. So if you're interested in checking out some of the pens, they link to Amazon. So feel free to check those out. So that's the winterly lettering. Okay, so John's sweater, this is what reminded me. I have a lettering of the Tweedy sweater too. So that was done also with a purple pen, but instead of the broad tip, it's actually a fine tip. So you can see the difference. It's a lot smaller. And these are the Tombow Furinasuke pen. I'm probably saying that wrong. I'm definitely saying that wrong, but they're both.
You have to forgive us with our pronunciation.
Yeah. But they're both Japanese, so that's a little bit of lettering info for you for this episode. Okay.
And you do have a little lettering story to tell, Knit and Escape.
Oh, yeah. I guess since we're on the lettering before I get into John's sweater, so this was last weekend already. Christy Glass, she had a virtual knitting retreat called Knit and Escape. I think it was her third one. And I did an hour-long hand lettering demo during that. So that was really fun. It was my first time doing a virtual lettering instructions. So my mom and dad actually joined. I was up in Boston. It was on a Thursday evening, and you guys joined and watched, which was so fun. So
and dad was actually practicing the lettering. He'd had his second vaccine dose that day, so he was a little bit not quite himself, but he was practicing the strokes. It was funny. Yeah,
we're actually all very lucky. Our whole family has had their 2 doses, so we're fully vaxxed. Thank you, Pfizer. Thank you, Mom. We're good. Okay, so so the Knit and Escape retreat was super fun. I think she's going to do another one in September, but it was fun to kind of immerse myself in the fiber community a little bit, and check out some new to me artists and farms and dyers and that sort of thing. So unfortunately, I don't think you can retroactively go back to it, but stay tuned. Maybe I'll do another one at another virtual knitting event. So John's sweater.
Okay.
This was the Tweedy sweater, and this was by Dario Tubiana, an Italian designer. So this was a lot of knitting.
Johnny's a big guy. He's got big chest.
So he was very sweet. He posed for some finished object photos, so I'll pop those in there. And he really likes it. So
is that why it's not here, because he's wearing it?
So again, it was cold enough for him to wear it. He was wearing it when I left yesterday because it was snowing and cold. So he was actually wearing the sweater yesterday. So it's knit in pieces, and I was a little overwhelmed. It seemed daunting to seam all of those big pieces together, but I got through it.
Especially the shoulders, right? That can be tricky.
So actually, another yarn chicken story. So I was a quarter of the way through the second sleeve and realized I wasn't going to have enough yarn. Wasn't going to have enough yarn to finish the sleeve or seam and then pick up and do the collar. So I went on to Ravelry, put in the dye lot number, and found a couple of people who had the dye lot listed in their stash.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and reached out to 3 people, and 2 people got back to me. One person was holding it for a project, totally understand. Yep. The other, she was willing to sell it to me, and she actually only charged me for the shipping, which was really nice. And so I ended up using almost all of that last one. So it was 11 balls of the yarn that was from Knit Picks.
That's 50-gram balls.
Yeah. So the back I did for extra large size, And then I thought that was going to be a little too big, so I ended up doing the front for the large size, and it ended up being a little too small. So I think it would have been good to do a size in between those two. So I had to do a little bit of some aggressive blocking and pulled the front down. But luckily there was a lot of room because of how much knitting there was. I feel like when it's a smaller project, there's less room to stretch, but there was plenty to stretch. So I did some aggressive blocking, and that project is done. He's very happy with it, and he's already asking about his next sweater.
Is he really? And it's an unusual color for him, isn't it?
Because it's still dark. It's brown, but he has a lot of black, charcoal, navy,
grays, shades of grays.
So we were going to do a green sweater. Maybe I'll do that next time. So yeah, that's
olive green would be nice.
Yeah, so that's my other FO. Okay, do you have any other FOs you'd like to talk about?
Yes, I would like to talk about Sock Madness, which, here we go.
It's mad.
It's mad. And so
hold on. We talk about the whole Sock Madness process. I guess it was probably episode 11.
Yes, it was episode 11, where I was in the first round. And the second round is going on now. I'm just going to do a really quick recap of Sock Madness. So this is the 15th year that this knitting sock madness has been going on in Ravelry. And I think this is the year where it's been the largest number of participants. So it's run sort of to coincide with March Madness, which is a college basketball tournament that takes place in the United States. It's basically a 64 team knockout. So I don't want to belabor the point of Sock Madness too much, but there's a qualifier round to enter, and the qualifying socks I talked about last time. I think I had already finished them. This is another difficult name, Senbonzurka or something, which I will...
These are so nice. Look at the beadwork. You see it's kind of subtle, but it's right in there.
This is using Lorna's Lace shepherd sock yarn. So I will put a link. So the pattern gets released and everybody has 2 weeks to finish the socks, and then you're entered into the competition. So I made mine, I can't remember, maybe in 10 days or something.
It would take me 10 days to do like a toe.
You definitely learn a lot of things. The thing about Sock Madness, the socks have to be knit exactly to specification.
For the size and stuff.
The size and yeah, there's a couple of honest mistakes allowed. So the pattern's dropped, and I said that you have 2 weeks to finish it, and then you get sorted into teams, and there's 26 teams, and this year each team had about 60 people, whereas last year there were 40 people. So that just goes to show you the enthusiasm for this competition. So this year the teams are all named after stars, and I got sorted into the F team, which the star name is Fudru, which I had never heard of before. And so out of 60 people, 50 people made it through to the final round. And I was the 41st to finish in my team. So my team has got, all the teams have knitters from all over the world. And one of the members in my team has put together a map with where we all are.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, and she changes the color when you finished. So I made it through. Oh gosh, I'm just noticing there's this pulled stitch in here. This is actually a tree with a heart.
These were the first round.
This was the first round, and there's the roots here. These were top down. It's not written. It's knitted in reverse garter stitch, and some people were knitting them inside out.
Oh wow!
I didn't. They did one the right way and one because if you're faster knitting, you see all the knitting on the inside. But then you're doing reverse cables. I didn't really. I want to take on knitting them inside out. So I was the 41st out of 50 to make it, and I think I knit these in 6 days.
Oh my god!
So
that is mad.
these took quite a bit of concentration because each row is different, and then you have to knit the socks so that they match. So these are basically all traveling cables, and it's a tree. So I made it through to the second round. The second round is over a weekend now. The pattern dropped a week ago on Wednesday. I am in one of the fastest teams. As of this morning, there were only 6 spots left. So out of 50, 40 moved through to the next round, and 34 people in my team have already finished their socks. And these are the socks, and they're called three Bs for beads, brioche, and I can't remember what the other B is for now.
If you remember, I'll put it down below.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Anyway, so these were cuffed down. Look at that. There's beads on the cuffs. These are ending up being huge.
Focus.
Now it's focusing. So I finished one sock.
So the beads are only on the cuff, or they're on the leg too.
They're on the leg
see the
too.
Sparkles.
Yeah,
these are massive.
I know. You had to knit the foot this long. It's way too big for me. So there had to be a contrast bead in the middle of these diamonds. Wow. You can see that's it's tricky because Natasha has a new camera and it's all reversed, so it's confusing me. But there you go. So I'm using yarn that you bought me a couple of years ago, Dirty Dyeworks.
Oh yeah, I bought this at Knitwit Yarn Shop in Portland, Maine. But it's a Boston-based dyer. And of course, my mom loves purple, and I loved this kind of tonal situation.
I'm loving this yarn. And I had the label somewhere ready, and now I don't know where it is. So anyway, I finished this one sock. I'm trying to think how long it took me. Oh, I finished it last Sunday.
So it took a week?
No, the pattern came out on a Wednesday evening, and I finished this on Sunday evening. And last weekend, I did mostly knitting. I worked mostly on the sock instead of planting my seeds out, which is a little bit sad, I think. And then Monday, I started the second sock on Monday in the evening, and I actually started to get really anxious about this. I have work deadlines. My work leaves me mentally draining. And then in the evening, I was feeling the tension of people finishing, not making it, following this complicated chart.
Oh my God, no.
And then on Tuesday, a friend of mine came over. She's also fully vaccinated. And I did not knit. I just needed a break.
Yeah.
I just realized that this is ridiculous. My hobby is supposed to be meditative and relaxing. And it was causing me actual stress. So I just took a breath, and then I was sad. I'm not working in my garden. I took a breath. I did do absolutely no knitting at all on Tuesday, which is so rare for us, I think.
Yeah.
And then on Wednesday, I picked this back up. So I was only here, I think. And I just decided, you know what? I'm just going to knit on this, but not overly stress myself out. And I don't think I'm going to make it. If I don't make it, I don't make it. But I'm going to keep working on it until there's no more spots in the team. I mean, there's 7 rounds, so...
Oh my God, there's 7 rounds.
Last year, I made it to the 3rd round. And the other thing that I was sort of upset about is in this pattern, the rules are you had to knit an extra 14 rows here, which makes it huge. So for me to wear these socks, I'm going to have to rip this back out. So I thought, why am I doing this? It's like torture. And anyway, it's in my...
Okay, well, hold on. If you keep going with this, you won't have to knit this second one as long.
No, I won't knit
so you
the
can
foot
plan
as
this.
long.
You can plan to not have to rip this one out, right?
Exactly, yeah. And I'm just adjust this. The leg actually fits me okay. It does look big, but it does fit me. So I would just abbreviate the toe, and then they would fit me.
I really like your bead choice here, the clear beads. I think that's nice. And then, my other thing I was going to say.
These are the beads.
Oh yeah. So even if you don't make it, will you still get the patterns?
Yeah, I'll still get the pattern,
nice.
and I'll be a cheerleader.
There you
so
go.
I can still knit along. I can be a cheerleader. I can knit along, but I can make them to fit me or whoever I want to give them to. I don't have to be strict about the specifications.
And then you can take breaks and go play in your garden.
Yeah, and so I will say that I'm using beads, glass beads from the Czech Republic that I used for your shawl, the shawl I made for your wedding.
Oh yeah. I'll insert a photo of that because that was beautiful. My even star.
Even star. That's
and that was a complete surprise. You gave it to me in my bridal shower. I had no idea you were working on it. So just to see something complete after, usually I'm following along with all the projects that you're doing. So that was fun. That was a really nice surprise. And it was super windy on my wedding day. And we were on a boat to go to the ceremony. So it was nice to have that on the boat.
It was, it took me 2 years to knit that. And so then...
Did you start it before I was engaged?
I think I did.
You must have, because I was only engaged for a year.
Yeah, I did, because I knew that you, but I was working on it slowly. Then when you got engaged, I accelerated.
That makes sense. I've been with John. We actually, him and I figured out this week that we will have been together for 15 years.
So I had a feeling that eventually he would propose.
I think when we were married, we were together for 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so just back to socks. I'm keeping them in this beautiful basket that my friend Colleen made. Isn't that gorgeous?
Oh, she made it? That's cool.
She used to do a lot of basketry. So there's a couple of other vanilla socks in here.
That's cute.
I made these socks for my boss. After I made it through the first round, I just needed some meditative knitting. So these are, the only thing I want to say about this is... It's shoppable boots, and it actually has some cotton in it. It's cotton merino nylon. And I cast on 68 stitch socks. The pooling was horrible. I'm going to let Natasha put in a picture. There is some big blobs of black here. There's the bees. But before... It was far worse. So I unpicked, and these are now 64 stitch socks, even though they seem pretty big. So it was my boss's birthday, end of March. So these are going to be late, but I was knitting on them. We actually met up outside in person, my team, to celebrate his birthday. And where are the late? Oh, so what I'm going to attempt to do. Oh, here's the name of the other sock. Senbon Zakura. That's this one. Rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? So anyway, I'm making these labels.
Oh my gosh, so you customize them?
Yeah, so I put on... this is not going to come out, but...
If you hold it closer, it will.
Okay, I guess we've got the... And straight. There we go.
I'm trying to hide your face.
Okay.
So this is actually, I made these Petra Knits too. I made that little logo for you.
Quite a while ago.
Yeah. So my mom, her initials are PKT. So I love that it was PKT for Petra Knits too. So this is this is what you're customizing here.
Yeah, I put in where the yarn is made, some care, what the composition is. I'm always fascinated with where things are made. So this is, and then I put the name of the pattern, if there's a pattern. I stole this idea from a lovely lady, Emma, in France that I met. That's another story. I don't know if you watch Emma, but she follows on Instagram. So then you give those socks
cute.
Like this, and it makes them look
profesh.
Yeah, and I've got this. Look at this beautiful tape dispenser that I inherited from a friend. So that's it for my finished objects.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you?
So I have my Brodgar mitts that are steeked. So I talked in depth. I don't know. Maybe it was episode 10. I'll write down what episode it is. Where I talk about the history of and making of these, because my dad got me this kit. From their Scottish yarn, Orkney Tweed. So the last time I hadn't steeked, so this is my first time steeking. So I just had to do the little thumb holes, and I didn't do a great job.
It's tough.
There was info in the pattern to link to another person that had some video tutorials, but it wasn't a complete tutorial, I don't think. I was also confused on like how big the thumb hole was supposed to be. I didn't sew. I did the crochet method, but then I didn't do the sewing part. I don't know if you need to do the sewing part every time.
I don't think so.
I don't know if you do, but I didn't do it. And then when I cut, things were unraveling. So then I actually did some like restitching, you know, because it was just a small hole. So it wasn't the greatest. And they work and they're fine and they are secure now. I wouldn't have done this as less. I would have been a little bit more paid attention to detail with it if it was going to be a cardigan or something serious, but I just kind of like was like, let's just give it a go and see what happens. I was kind of winged it.
And I've never steeked, so I have no advice to give you.
So if anyone has any links for some good info about steeking, I'd love to know, because I didn't really know where to start to get some good info about how to actually steek.
And also, I think what may have made this a challenge is that it's a little bit fiddly. It's just such a small section to steek for the thumb hole.
Yeah.
Versus a cardigan, you've got room for maneuvering.
It was definitely very fiddly, and it was very small.
Quite an
area.
undertaking, yeah.
But they're good to go.
They're beautiful, Natasha.
Yeah, and so the patterns they're doing excavations up in Orkney, in an island northern UK,
north of Scotland.
Well, I think it's part of Scotland, but it's in the island north. And the patterns here are some of the motifs that they're uncovering from the archaeological excavation.
Nicely said.
So there's a matching tam that goes with it.
Oh, have you started it?
I did. So this is like a top down photo of the tam.
Mm-hmm. That's lovely.
So it's the same
Tweed,
same patterns, and same yarn. So I have done I guess it's what's this ribbon called again? Where it's
corrugated rib.
Corrugated rib.
Yeah, I love the corrugated rib.
Let me see if this focus hide behind me. Come on. Well,
I think it is focusing. There you go.
Okay. So I have done the corrugated rib, and I'm just at the very beginning of the pattern. You can see it's the bottom of how it matches, right?
This must take some concentration.
It does. And these are size 2 needles, and I broke a needle.
Oh gosh. Oh my gosh, it's split.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to be buying some needles at our LYS today.
Yeah.
So I've broken a few of those small
when they're small wooden needles. I've broken some by accidentally sitting on them, or just like not being careful when I put them in a bag.
In a bag, I've done that.
This, I think it was a little weak from shipping, and I think it broke. It was a little weakened. There might have been like a slight, just the beginning of a break, because they were fine, and then like after 2 rows, I noticed it, and then just with knitting in the round, the tension just snapped it.
So we need some new needles.
So that's my one work in progress. I guess finished and work in progress.
Okay.
So I'm
nice.
Working through that. All right, so I think that pretty much covers all the knitting we're going to talk about today. There are some other projects happening, but we'll talk about those in the next episode. Yeah. So I want to talk about the giveaway.
Okay, that's exciting, Natasha. This is gonna be our thank you 1,000 subscribers giveaway, and I think that we would like you to enter the giveaway. Please send us a comment, and send us a comment and tell us what is the first trip that you're going to take when you are free to travel. Okay. Where is it that you want to go? This is kind of in keeping with our special Norwegian trip.
Cool. And that sounds good. So comment below on the YouTube comments.
YouTube comments, please, to enter the giveaway.
And we'll keep that open until we publish our next episode. So it'll probably be about 2 weeks.
Let's say we'll keep it open until May 1st.
through May 1st or end on January, February, March, on April 30th.
We'll end April 30th.
Midnight April 30th is when
midnight East Coast time.
Yeah, so
April 30th.
that will be the last chance to enter for the giveaway. So what we will give away, so this is, let me hold up the label.
It's a beautiful label. This is a local to me hand dyer.
Lane and Lotus.
And I bought that this week from my local yarn store, Driftwoods, and the colorway is called Welcome Home.
So it's just a like a little bit of an off-white base with some purple and black speckles. So it's 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 463 yards, 100 grams.
And it's got a really great spin to it. Twist, sorry.
And it's really soft too.
Yeah. I mean, it would work for socks. It would work for a shawl, scarf.
We will also give one of these bags. I think it was back, I don't know, episode 3 or 4, where we had a wonderful lady send us a bunch of her handmade bags. So this is so whenever my mom comes to visit me in Boston, she brings her Sandy bag, and
it's a bag to put all your project bags in.
All your project bags in here, and there's a little pouch in here, and it's lined as well. So I love the little sheep.
Yeah.
So this bag will be part of the giveaway as well. And then I actually have done some knitting pun cards and prints that are in the We're Into It Etsy shop. So I'll link below there. So you will also I have one card, Knit Happens.
Nice.
One card that says, you are literally the best. And then this is just a 5x7 print that can go in a frame that says, don't stop, knit it, knit it. So all 3 of those will also be part of the giveaway. And as part of Knit and Escape, I did a 20% off code for viewers, or I guess attendees. And that code goes through April 30th. And if you watch this episode and you go to the We're Into It Etsy shop, you can use it too. So the code is KNIT20, KNIT 20. I'll put it below.
Yeah.
So if you'd like to check out any of our other hand lettering prints or cards, and we have some PDFs you can download to print to learn hand lettering as well. So feel free to check that out and use the 20% off. And one other thing I wanted to mention too is Mother's Day is right around the corner. It's May 9th here in the US, and Christy Glass did a special Mother's Day mother-daughter interview with us. So I think she interviewed maybe 3 or 4 mother-daughter duos, and we are one of them. So which was a lot of fun.
I know, and I'm excited to see who the other mother-daughters are actually.
So her episode for that, she told us, will come out May 5th. So stay tuned for that.
And I didn't say what I'm working on, which is just a vanilla pair of socks, and this is for your friend Sarah.
Oh, nice.
I hope she likes the colors.
Yeah, I'm sure she will.
This is Barocco socks, sock yarn. It's a fun stripy colorway, and then I mentioned this Wisdom yarns before. I just bought a bunch in a big sale from Jibby Beans in different colors, specifically so that I had options for contrast toes, heels, and cuffs. So these are my relaxing knitting that I'm working on.
Very nice.
So I think that's it for lucky episode 13.
Thank you so much for watching.
Yes,
and
thank
joining.
you. And I hope that some of you who came and watched our cruising episode are enjoying this one too.
Yeah, so we'll try and post every 2 weeks or so.
Yeah, as we can get together.
We can, yeah. So thanks for being here. Happy knitting, happy lettering.
Stay safe, enjoy your hobbies, and take care.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.